Good morning and welcome to quarantine in a French chateau. I've woken up in a really good mood today because of three things. One, it's a beautiful day. Look, the sun is making a beautiful pattern on the floor. Two, I have my new Royal Standard breakfast trio to have my breakfast in, which I'm excited about. And three, I have lemon and gin marmalade for my toast. Isn't that pretty? So yellowy and sunshiny first thing in the morning. And of course, very excitingly, the gin and lemon marmalade. As you can see, I've already tried it and it's delicious. Mummy gives me little sachets of toasting bread outside my room so that I have them to make breakfast in the morning. And I have my toaster just nestling underneath the tea station. Oh, this marmalade is so incredibly good. I'm using one of my lovely new pink napkins with the L for Lalande. Now this seems a pretty perfect start to the day. This is the life, and my mother's not even allowed to give me any chores. I can't even leave my room. It's heaven. I hope you can hear those birds singing. It's my favourite sound first thing in the morning. And now I mustn't forget to lower the basket, because you never know what goodies might appear today. I think there's a rumour that Nicholas is going to the supermarket today. That's the house where Nick and Marie and Antoine are living, just to the left of the tower. Their door is just on the other side of the tower. I've been incredibly naughty. It's nearly lunchtime and I'm still in bed, but I spent the whole morning reading this book, The Young Visitors by Daisy Ashford. Someone very kindly sent it to me as a gift in the autumn, and I'd been so busy and then with my travels I didn't have a chance to read it, and I finally got round to it now and I couldn't put it down. I had to read it cover to cover. This was written in the late Victorian era, around the turn of the 20th century, by a 9-year-old girl, Daisy. And it's superb. It's this child's view of adult life then. I mean, from the very first sentence I was hooked. Mr. Saltina was an elderly man of 42 and fond of asking people to stay with him. An elderly man of 42. The manuscript was discovered years after Daisy had written it amongst her mother's papers, and it was published in 1919 by Chatto and Windrush with a preface by J.M. Barrie, who wrote Peter Pan. His preface is really wonderful. He clearly loves this book. And he says that he spoke to Daisy, now a grown woman, and she described her childhood and said, "I adored writing and used to pray for bad weather so that I need not go out but could stay in and write." Well, that's how I feel about this quarantine, which has given me time to stay in and read. But if any of you are writers, this is the perfect moment for you to unleash your creativity on the world, as Daisy did in bad weather. And there are some moments in the book that are just filled with childish excitement that speak directly to me. For example, the excitement of having a cup of tea in bed, which is what I've been doing all morning. Mr. Saltina woke up rather early next day and was surprised and delighted to find Horace the footman entering with a cup of tea. "Oh, thank you, my man," said Mr. Saltina, rolling over in the costly bed. "Mr. Clark is nearly out of the bath, sir," announced Horace. "I will have great pleasure in turning it on for you, if such is your desire." "Oh, well, yes, you might," said Mr. Saltina, seeing it was the idea. Mr. Saltina cleverly conceals his emotion, but as soon as he is alone, he rushes to Ethel's door. "I say," said Mr. Saltina excitedly, "I've had some tea in bed." Anyway, this has given me an idea. Let me know what you think about this, but because this is now out of copyright, I could read this out for you in a separate video, not part of my quarantine diaries. If anybody would like to hear The Young Visitors by Daisy Ashford, let me know and I'll very happily make a video of me reading this. But now I think I better get up and get dressed. Mummy's just told me that lunch has arrived. What's it going to be today? Oh, a salad. That looks delicious. There's my little lunch table for today. It's got cheese and apples, tomatoes and lots of parsley, which is my favourite. And I've made a ham sandwich. I've come up with a little project that I am able to work on in here. It's hard because I can't really look for things around the house, inside the house, just out in the garden or in my rooms. But this I think I can do. As you saw yesterday, I received these really pretty paper napkins and I said I wanted to frame one of them. It's just too pretty not to. And I have some spare frames in my corridor. So let's go and see if there's anything the right size. I don't usually show people this corridor because it's not decorated yet, a bit of a dumping ground, but as you can see, it's private, no one else uses it, so I can come and go in here, and I store old frames that I buy in charity shops here, and I want to see if there's anything the right size. I thought that one might do, but it's a little bit, actually no, that might be okay. Might be just all right. I have to trim it down a tiny bit, but not very much. I mean, beggars can't be choosers. I can't go to the shop. Well, there's this one. Yes, perhaps this, and then paint the frame to make it a little grander. Okay, let's try that. They do come with some extraordinary pictures in. I think it fits enough to be usable. We'll just lose a tiny bit on the edges. And then I can paint the frame, maybe with a bit of gold. And this needs ironing first, but I'm not sure I've got an iron up here. I'm going to go and check in my dressing room. There's no iron, so I'm going to ask Mummy to deliver one next time she comes upstairs. We have a couple of spares downstairs, I think. I'll get on with painting the frame. So next job, finding some paint. I've come out to the maintenance room and I think that this paint, which we used for the shutters of the chateau, will be perfect for the frame. As you can see, every time I come out of my room, I'm wearing gloves and a mask actually, but you can't see that. Mummy spotted me and she's asked me to follow her at a distance because there's a problem with the greenhouse. A stone has got wedged behind the door and she can't open it.
Yes, there is a big stone that fell behind the door here, from the side. And I cannot budge it.
Well, Nick's going to go in for you.
Oh, I was going to go in.
Careful that doesn't fall, Mummy.
Pardon?
Mummy, what are you doing? Don't go under that. What if it falls?
I'm holding it, look.
No, 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 no. You got, no, no.
Let me do this.
No.
But that's why I want, you need
No.
What did I put it there? I wanted to be sure somebody was with me so this would not fall on me.
Fortunately, I'm as agile as a mountain goat.
As agile as a mountain goat. So there, you heard it here first. Nick is as agile as a mountain goat. Mummy, can you stop fiddling under those windows, please? She's unbelievable. If we looked away for 1 second, we'd find her on the roof of the chateau trying to re-roof it single-handedly.
It happened yesterday because I used it yesterday.
Can you give it a little kick?
Do you want me to push?
Gently, yeah.
Yeah.
In the middle.
Okay. No, I'm gonna pull and then I'll shut again.
Okay, wait. Okay, try again. Let's stand up.
Oh, yeah! Mummy, you action hero. Next time I come out, I'll show you what Mummy's been getting up to in the greenhouse. There's my basket coming from my bedroom window. Disappointingly empty. We'll have to check that again later. I'm not allowed to hang out downstairs. I can just walk through without touching anything to get back to my bedroom. I'm going to do a first coat of blue and then add some gold tomorrow when it's dry. It's quite a nice spot to be sitting painting, actually. That's the first coat done, and it's definitely going to need more, but I'll leave it to dry for an hour before doing the next one. I should have just enough time to do the second coat before Escape to the Chateau DIY is on, and I can look back on a time when we weren't in quarantine and we were doing lots of fun stuff at the chateau last year, if my VPN works. This is looking much better. I think that it just needs to dry tonight, and tomorrow I will bling it up with a little bit of gold. Oops! I settled down in front of Escape to the Chateau DIY with a cup of tea and some biscuits and realised I had the wrong week. We're on next week, so I'm sorry for giving everyone the wrong information. But I loved it because I got to catch up on Fiona and on Erin and JB in the Chateau de Bourneau. Oh, it was fantastic fun, so I'll be watching them all week and eating many, many more biscuits. As you can see, I've got changed, and you may be thinking, all dressed up and nowhere to go. But no, I have been invited to a virtual party with my friends, for which I'm 3 minutes late. It beggars belief that I can be late for a party that I don't even need to travel to. But first, I would like to settle down and make sure that I have a little bit of whiskey ready for the party. I'm using one of my lovely new vintage glasses. There we go. Let's not go wild during quarantine. I better dial in to see my friends. I may have spoken a little too soon. I'm not too sure how to do this. I have to download Zoom, I think. I've never done this before. We're all needing to learn new skills in these new times. Cheers, everyone!
Cheers!
I finally got it to work. It was lovely to see my friends, and I like these virtual parties. No need to wear uncomfortable stilettos, just a pretty dress and slippers. And now I'm off to bed at the end of another day of quarantine. Night night, everyone.